Good afternoon, traders. Actually, it's a good morning. How are you? I'm AJ. Um, Today, we're going to talk about for about 10, 15 minutes. I won't take too much of your time because a lot of you don't have a lot of time. You're driving home or you're doing whatever you're doing. But I get this asked a lot from great traders from all around the world. They come in and traders have less than 10,000, 5,000 in their account, and they want to be able to utilize that to make money daily. And there's this myth that you have to have $25,000 or more in order for you to be a day trader. What is a day trader? A day trader basically is an active trader that trades 3 or more rounds a day or a week. I think it's 4 rounds now, full quick rounds. You're considered a day trader in one day or 1 week. And then there are traders that don't have enough money in the United States to be able to day trade. So what are their options? And how do you utilize a room like Awesome Calls to benefit you to help you build your account? We are almost 2,100 members in our room. And I would say a good 25 to 30% of those people have less than $10,000 in their accounts. Probably less than 20, 10, and then 5,000. And so with those great traders, what we do, we really emphasize, and why our room works is range. Everything is range in our room. We're always looking for the most gap ups with the biggest range that we can give you. What is a range? For every $1, so if you have 100 shares and a dollar move, that's $100. If you have two dollar move, that's $200. And if you did 300 shares on $2, it's $600. You get my drift? Every dollar up or every dollar down is money. For an option trader, let's assume you have something like $5,000 in your account. You can flip to your account to non-margin and use a cash account. You can use TD, Webull, Fidelity, almost any service out there should be able to provide for you. As long as you sign up under the option trading, then you got approved for that. Now, the way you would work it is, let's say you have $5,000. All right, you can utilize half of that money or a third of that money on a daily rotation of your money. So normally within 24 hours, your money will be good again the next day. However, what I would recommend if you're playing our calls in our room is take half of your money or a quarter of your money or a third of your money. So let's say you have 5,000. Play with $1,500 of that 5,000. Leave the other $3,500 alone. Now, how do you know what to play with that kind of money? The first thing you got to do is learn how to trade options. Now, YouTube has tons of videos on how to trade options. I mean, they're all free out there. You can go basic options, basic entry options. There's so much information. It's all free out there. The person I like in our room that I love him to death is Mark Moses. And if those that don't know him, this is the gentleman. He is a phenomenal option trader. He is he's great. He has videos right now. He's sold out, and we're waiting for him to add more people. But I'm telling you, he's phenomenal. He day trades every single pretty much day. His account when he started here 6, 7 months ago was only $5,000, and he has built a solid wealth foundation for himself. He goes to college. He can only trade 1 or 2 hours in the morning. Then he's off to school. He's off studying. Today alone, yesterday he made $3,100 on Myrna alone, and he'll tell you each trade was 4,000 buying power in 10 minutes. You see that? This is what he does, and he's phenomenal. He's one of those rare traders that really took awesome calls to a different level just by playing with smaller amount of monies, and he does it daily. If you follow his feed, which I highly recommend, and then when he does his videos, just listen to them. He does have some free ones on YouTube, which might be helpful, and highly, highly recommend listening to him. All right, so Mark Moses. Now, with that being said, now we go into the actual trade. So today, so we know to follow Mark Moses 777. I personally do not trade options. I would say out of the 2,100 people in the room, I would say about a good 65 to 70% of the people in the room trade both options and equity. I'm an equity guy. I have plenty of money in my accounts. I can trade whatever I want. I usually try to make 2,000 a day, and I'm done for the day. I'm up right now 1845.36 for the day. So not a bad morning. Okay, so that's being said. Now, every morning I put together a comprehensive list. This is what the list looks like. Now, an option trader wants to be looking for range plays. What I mean by that is stocks like 5 points to 10 points or more. If I have a small cap stock that's going to move maybe 2 or 3 points, that necessarily would not be a great trade for you with your $5,000 or your 2,500 buying power that you're going to use. All right. F4UC, for instance, was a 1.5 point range. That's really not going to build your account. Equity wise, I mean, heck yeah. I mean, equity wise, I mean, 10,000 shares, you make 8 grand. You know what I mean? On an 80-cent move. I mean, of course. But you're not playing with that kind of money because you're in a cash account. You're not in a non-margin account. Okay. FSR would be good for a long-term 3 to 6 month play. You could be buying, let's say, November calls, November 25 calls, or October 25, depending on how far they go out. So most of what Mark Moses and a lot of great traders, the Ray Callaways, all those people, the Seans, the Felixes, what they do is they kind of focus in on the last batch of stocks, FLGT, Tesla, Moderna. Now I want you to look closely. I want you to look closely at the range. You see how we have an 8-point play to the upside and then a possible 11-point play to the downside? Okay, so that is a 20-point range play for you. You see that? This is what a Felix and a Sean and option traders will take advantage of, and Mark Moses. This is what they focus. And when you listen to his videos, he'll tell you the same thing. I'm looking at the bottom plays. We have a $98 trade here for 5 points to the upside, 95, 7 points to the downside. So if it hits 88, you can go long again back to 98. That's a 10-point range trade. So you want to play those type of plays. So what you do is you come in and say, let's say you decide to go, you know what, I'm going to play Tesla and Myrna. Okay, so let's just take the Tesla call. Now Tesla's already up at 7, it's gapping flat. So for us to long the stock, which I mean is when I long the stock, I'm looking for a quick pop at the open, a quick push through maybe 3 to 5 points to the upside. All right. If it snaps 708, I'm looking for about hold on, 708. If it snaps 708, I'm looking possibly for an 8-point sell-off, but it has to snap that area. If it just kind of pulls and starts to build a base, then I'm looking for a move back to the upside. All right. A snap is like where it hits 708 and then drops 3 to 4 points. Then I know I get an 8-point pull. But if it just hits the 708 and pulls 1 or 2, bounces back to 708, goes back down to 706, go bounce up to 708, chances are that stock is it's finding its bottom right there. And I'm looking for that bottom curl right around there. All right. So I ranged the stock like that. So let's just say you came in and said, okay, if the stock starts to pull and you want to go look for 708 and you feel it's going to have a nice bounce of 10 or 11 points, then what you do is you do 2 things. You can either, and this is the Tesla call right here for today. Okay, so 708, the stock would come down. Let's take a look what I wrote. Would come down to about 700 for today. So I'm looking for a bounce around that area. All right. So what you could have done is you could have took, all right, right here. Where is it? 708. So here's 708 right here at the open. So you could have bought puts. You could have bought 705 puts, 703 puts. So what you do is you go into the system, like Weed Bull or RTD, and start looking for puts. And you buy a certain amount of contracts. So let's say you buy 2 or 3. In other words, you utilize your $1,500 or your $1,000 or your $2,000, and you buy those with, I think, a week expiration. Correct me if I'm wrong, traders, but I think it's a week expiration. And you buy those puts, 3, 4, 5 contracts, and when it hits or goes down lower, you make all that money. So in retrospect, you can make on a trade of $1,500. I'm thinking you could probably do about what is that, 300, 500 bucks on that trade for a quick downside or more. If you don't want to play the put action and you want to find that bottom curl, which in this area was around 702, 703, and you can play the 5 to 10 points to the upside. See, Tesla isn't going to sell off today. The market didn't give us any indication to do so. So it was going to have a nice pull and slow move to the upside on a grind. So we got a nice play. We had a grind here for a while, and then it finally took off. So again, you could have took $2,000 at 703, 704. Confirmed in the room. Do you see a bottom on this, AJ? Yes, I do. I think bottom is in. I think you're comfortable. Great. I'm going to buy 710 calls. I'm going to put $2,000 in my money and buy 710 calls. When it hits or above it, you make all of that money. So you make all that money based on your $2,000 buy order. So in that instance, you probably would have made probably, I don't know, 600, maybe 800 bucks on that kind of move, depending on how many contracts you bought and what you can utilize with your $1,500 to $2,000. Now, once you close the position, right now, Clark, you need 716 to go higher. Otherwise, leave it alone. Then you go to 718, 720. So after you close your position and you make your $300-$400, you're done. You don't need to trade anymore. You're finished. This is how you're going to build your account. You come the next morning. Now your 1,500 or 1,300 you use plus your additional 300 or 400 monies you made. Now we'll add right there. 730 Tesla calls ran 100% off that bounce, according to Ross Huberty just now. So Ross was looking at 730 Tesla calls off this bounce, and they ran 100% when it hit 716. So that's a very, very good play. It's 100% return on your money. Kathleen is asking, does it automatically close out or when you hit your target? No. If the stock has more upside, Kathleen, that is better for you because you make more money. Chase Alford said, I bought Tesla 710 calls for $650 and sold for $11.85 for an 82% return. So that's a perfect example of taking small money and making 80% to 100% on your money. And Kathleen, once you hit that area, you'll make your money, but you have the potential. And what I would do is sell 2 or 3 of your contracts and then hold the rest and see if it gets another 2 or 3 more points or more to the upside. So you would have made more money. Okay. Are there limits on option trading? I am not an option trader, so I can't be answering a bunch of this questions when it comes to that. But I I, I don't know how to answer that. I don't think there's limits. And I don't know. So again, I'm an equity guy. Yes, you have to have 25 in your account on a limit. I don't understand that. We're trading with cash money. So okay, so we're getting offhand here. Do you recommend building a small account or have the ability to fund a large account and play equities? Okay, that's not the question that's being asked, William. It's not the question being presented. That's not what we're recording in the room. Okay, we're asking a gentleman that says, if I have a small account with 5 or 10 or less, can I make money? Okay. So as going back, you close out your position, you're done with the trade. So then you're done. There's no more trading for you. You don't do 2 or 3 more trades because you're going to be utilizing it at that moment, and you might be considered a pattern day trader at that moment if you start doing multiples. In a cash account, use again a quarter, an eighth, or half of your money. You do the trade, you execute it, and you're done. That's it. You're done. Then the next day, that money comes back. Meanwhile, you have the other money to use the other half on another trade. So let's just say you did 2 trades today. Okay? So you took Tesla and you bought 710 calls. On Myrna. Now, Myrna was gapping up a little bit. I felt the stock had room to get to 500 and then sell off. I felt Myrna was going to sell off because it had a huge run yesterday. So I was looking for a 10 to 12 point pullback after the initial pull. So again, how do we trade Myrna? All right, let's take a look at the notes and let's apply those notes into to what we're doing here. So we come over here, and Myrna said, all right, if we snap 480, the stock is going to come back down 10 to 11 points to the downside. So that's telling you already you're going to make a minimum 5, 6, 7 points because Myrna will flush down hard. But you got to wait for 480 to come to snap the stock. So you again come in and you say, okay, I'm going to take $2,000 of my money, and when it hits 480, I am going to buy 470 puts. So you would buy 470 puts on 480 when it snaps, and then boom, you come all the way down, and at 470, it's still coming down. So I don't know what the return would have been, but it should have been sufficient at 10 points. The stock, if you had took a small position off the top, sold one or two of your contracts, and allowed the rest to run, you would have probably made, honestly, my guess is probably up $1,200 on this trade on 1,500 bucks. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking you could probably be making, with $1,500, you'd probably be making over $1,000 if you had allowed it to come all the way down to 460. So this is how you build your account with small money. You cannot play the equity trades that are running the momentums, the FSRs. You don't have that ability. Now, there are trades that I'm going to give you that will make you super rich. About 3 months ago, 2 months ago, TDD did a split. All right, they did a what do you call it? They did a I forget. I just lost concentration. So they did a split. Let me go 6 months here. A stock split. Yeah. So when this thing took a stock split, the first thing I did is I pounded the chat room. I mean, you should have been in the room, right? And I said, this is a $75 to $100 stock in 3 to 6 months. Put it in your account. Put it in your account. Put it in your. This is it. You wanted something. You wanted something with range. You wanted 50 points. This is your baby. It is going to $100. We're going to hit 75 to 80, and then we go to 100. Okay? There's no ands, ifs, or buts. This is me just giving you something that I feel so strong about. At those moments, you could have took your options and said, okay, I got $6,000 in my account. He is so adamant this is going to run, and it's a buying opportunity. I'm going to start buying 75 and 100 put calls out in August and September. I have Vortex still holding a bunch. I want you to see on February 15th or 17th, I made the call to long at $59. You all remember that in the room, right? May, June, I made the call, $59 long. Within about 10, 15 days, the stock hit 75. My goal is 100 on the stock and currently hitting 90 today. On this particular trade, your 2,000 or 3,000 probably would have netted you $10,000 to $12,000, if not more, on this trade alone. So you don't even need to be in the room while it makes you money. This is a type of trade that is just sits in your account and builds you wealth. This is because I've studied this stock, this company, knowledge, understanding, when was it a buy. This is just what I do. And I will share with you these swing ideas. All right. So this was a phenomenal trade that is just paying off and paying dividends to people right now. All right. So basically, in summary, okay, you just simply have to look at the stock ideas that I provide. All right. Every morning, look at the range, utilize a portion of your money. All right. Use a cash account, rotate the money. Hold on, Michelle. Michelle, give me a second. Let me finish the recording and I'll answer all your questions. Stop your questions. Just give me a second. Still recording. All right. So at this point, okay. All right. So this is what you do. This is how you build your account on a daily basis. You don't go for home runs, right? You build 250, 300, 300, 500, 800, 700. All right. You ask for help when it's needed, you know, and follow a lot of people that do this daily. That is really helpful. You can listen to Felix. He does these nightly recordings. Sean once in a while will do a recording. Mark Moses will do his past recordings. And just listen to how they're talking. This is how I took the trade. This is what I waited for. This is what I did. A lot of them just draw up lines. And if I say a stock's going to break a certain area, they put the line across. It breaks that area. They're buying the puts. They make the money. They're done for the day. It can be that simple. Okay? And just know that if you can make $250, $300, $400 on your $2,000 a day, you are a phenomenal trader. You really are understanding. And before you know it, in 30 to 60 days, you'll be PTD and you can do whatever you want. You can play those equity plays, but you've got to be realistic. Now, coming in and saying, oh, I have $500, I need you to make me 10 grand. That's not realistic. I mean, $500, what do you expect of Awesome Calls or any trade? You can only do what you can do, okay? You can only do what you can do. I mean, if you're going to, I think somebody with 2 or 3,000 can do pretty damn good in this room. But somebody coming in with 500, your expectations are a little bit high. You should get a little bit more money. Now, I do have a lot of traders that don't have any money in their accounts, but come in here just simply to pay for the acknowledgement. So when they do have money, they're learning every day. So anyway, that is today's free webinar on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I answered your questions, and I'll always refer people to this great YouTube video from now on. Thank you. Bye-bye. If you want to join us, awesomecallstrading.com. Join, 25 a day, 100 for a week. We credit both of those if you upgrade to them.